Okay. Turn the recorder on. It is February 5th, 2026, approximately 3:48 p.m. EST. This is Marshall Nakota, badge number 010, and I am joined by
Director Brian Knight, SASM, call sign 0495.
and across from us. Sorry, go ahead.
Bjorn Corleone Gambino,
State ID.
1054.
Okay. At this time, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be provided to you free of charge by the state if available. Do you understand these rights as I have just read them to you?
I do.
And with these rights in mind, you wish to speak to us at this time without counsel of your own free will?
I do.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot of effort put into figuring out what to do with your situation. President of the United States. This isn't a simple matter.
Sean Davis.
Just got done having the U.S. military visit us. They ain't very happy. For obvious reasons. Bjorn, I'm going to kind of cut to the chase here. You had your reasons. You have your allegations. But we're left wondering, we need to know why you believe. We need to understand who told you that Sean Davis sold Sanguine to the Faceless. And to make it rather clear, this is the difference between you going away for a long fucking time versus something within reason.
And that's not something that I can, it's not something anyone just told me. I'll say that I feel confident you understand my position on the Faceless, and that after I left the PD, we had talks about my position, and that I was doing my own investigating. And during that time, I found that a while back, they were looking to get control of an island. And I fully believe that to be Sanguine. And I don't know if Davis specifically, or he was the specific person that sold it to them, but I believe that he helped them obtain it.
And is that a hunch? Speculation? Or do you have any facts that support that idea?
I came across paperwork a while back. The issue is that I can't provide you with this, so me saying this isn't really going to do much. I'm sure you're going to want any kind of proof over listening to what I say without the evidence to back it. So, but I came across paperwork and things that led me to that, and I felt very strongly and confident about it. I understand that that's not going to help you or me because I don't have anything to back it up. I'm just kind of giving you my point of view.
What did that paperwork say? And did it directly name Sean Davis?
It did not directly name him.
But did it point in his direction?
It pointed to high-level government officials that are helping them from the inside.
Bjorn, you made a major mistake. And I can say with confidence that you played into their hands. I knew Davis very well. And we have evidence to suggest that more likely than not, everything that you were likely led to believe was by design. Because it's entirely possible that Mr. Davis could have probably spoken about some of these matters, but at the end of it, he became a loose end. I can't speak to some of those details, but what I'm going to ask of you is, as and if you are reached out in future along these lines, that perhaps you start to think about sharing some of those thoughts with us. You have to understand that these individuals, this organization, an organization much vaster than the Faceless itself, pulls strings in a way where sometimes the obvious, there is what we are led to believe, and then there is what is truly taking place. Sean would have never in a million years sold Sanguine. Especially not to the Faceless. I'm going to give you a very straightforward thought to leave you with. You woke up today, didn't you?
I did.
Do you see any fighter jets or bombs landing on our heads?
I haven't.
Has the government been replaced?
Speaking of our government, I mean, if it was, I wouldn't know. I've been in here.
It hasn't. I believe you were led to act emotionally. He was painted to be working for them in an attempt to get rid of him. Because I'm sure he did know some things. But probably things that likely would have helped against the fight against them. If you can swear to us, at least assist us to some degree going forward, if you come across information about the Faceless, the investors, and what might truly be going on, I'd be willing to give you a deal that's significantly more reasonable, as the state authorities have given us that latitude.
What kind of deal are we talking about?
A deal that's not going to put you in for life.
Okay. What am I looking at with this deal then?
I need you to first swear to us you will work with us.
I'm not able to hear the deal before swearing allegiance.
It's a difference between your life and a little bit of cooperation. I don't think this is a very hard ask. It's just the reality of the situation. You're talking about one of the most powerful men in the world being taken out. This isn't a light matter.
I understand. And I don't have an issue doing that because, like I've said, I am very anti-faceless. I have never worked for or with them. And if what you're saying is true, then we could have made a mistake. But I will say that the reason we did this is for the reasons I've told you.
I believe you. And that's why we're even considering this sort of deal. All we ask is that you understand that you're not the only ones fighting this war. And sometimes multiple parties are likely have different pieces of a puzzle that give a much clearer picture as to what's going on. And if it hasn't been obvious already with what I've been saying, there's so much eyes put on the faceless, and people are forgetting who they work for. I don't believe Sean would have ever worked for the faceless. I've worked way too close with him. Spent about 3 years working for the Secret Service, making sure that man stayed alive through his campaigning.
When you say he was a loose end to them, though, that makes it sound like he was working with them. It went wrong and they
No.
wanted rid of him.
When I say loose end, you have to understand he's going to know things that we will never. And if you needed to move someone out of the way to replace them, you would get another party to make sure that the deed was done so that his replacement, their puppet, can take their place.
In the future, would you be willing to show me the information you had on Davis to show that I was wrong?
I think I've already given it to you. And I'll explain again. If the president had what happened, I'm being careful with my words, because repeating it with this Google phone right here over and over, this is just, give me a second. This is disclaimer. This is role play. Sorry, I'm just thinking about a disclaimer. Do you see that? If all of this was not orchestrated, we would be obliterated, Bjorn. If all of this wasn't orchestrated, our entire government, my job, Angel, all of high command, our constitution would have been wiped.
In what way?
Replaced.
Why would they be replaced if he was with the faceless?
He never would have been. You're asking a man that's known him for years.
People aren't always who we think they are. You might have known him for years, but how much time had you spent with him recently?
Quite a bit. Look, I don't need to convince you today. I think that's something that'll convince you over time. I don't think it's really relevant. Because at the end of the day, if I am wrong, nothing changes this agreement.
Well, I have no problem bringing info to you guys if I come across anything, because I am, as I say, genuinely against them and want to do what I can. So I have no problem agreeing to that.
Bjorn, are you aware that the Faceless work for some other entity?
I've heard of a couple people in the Faceless, and I've heard of their higher up. And I don't know if the higher up I've heard of is with the Faceless group or another entity, so I'm not sure.
The Faceless are simply an arm of a much more sinister organization. One that does not have a name. One that operates strictly for the purpose of power and monetary gain. Nakota, you want to present him the plea deal?
Yes. Just gonna have you send me a general message, and then I will forward it to you. Okay.
Struggling to find where to send that.
You got me.
But
You got me. You got me.
got
You
it?
got me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I meant. Just make sure you can like access it and see everything. All right.
And this 1010 is the plea deal.
Correct. Like that will be the overall, and then we're taking into consideration the time you've already been in here. I should clarify.
I have a request I would like to make that would be very easy to do because someone else in here already has the same plea deal. I don't know if either of you worked on Carmela's case.
I did not.
So she has a plea deal because coming up shortly is Survival All Stars, and she's going to be escorted by the DOC there. And I'm wondering if I could go with the escort if I'm voted in.
That is a Brian question.
When is Survivor?
The week of the 9th, throughout that week.
So
Carmela-
Monday.
Yes, so Carmela already has it arranged. The DOC will be transporting her back and forth for it as well.
Bjorn, am I understanding this correctly that had you considered planning, never mind.
I understand the severity of this. If it can't happen, it can't happen, but I gotta ask.
Let's have a chat outside, Dakota.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn the recorder off.
Hello.
Oh, how you doing?
Doing all right?
Listen, man, if this was like, you know, we can't, because per Sean, this is like if a member of high level government, like you, me, one of the justices
Correct.
was murdered, and
I-
therefore we have to say no, right?
I think that we can communicate that to him, that it's not. We got a higher, we've had higher level input that this needs gravitas.
Yeah.
I think that'll make it a little bit more palatable. But I'll give you my mindset, right? The human side of me, 50% thinks like, oh well, he probably really wants it. But the other 50% of me is saying it would be absolutely batshit insane for us to agree to this.
I was hoping that we'd get like a number back, but if someone died, based on the guidance we got, I don't
think it would be appropriate. I don't either.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Hey.
Small touch point update. We found the Humvees that they used to flee dumped in the water. They had fake plates on them. Got the fake plates off. They come back to Misha and Dax Marshall.
Holy fucking shit. Good fucking work. Good fucking work. Now,
So
we
have some
can't
leads now.
necessarily presume they are connected. I mean, we can say we don't have the PC, but that's a fucking
No,
lead.
it's a lead. It's a lead, yeah.
This is good. Good fucking work.
Easy.
All
All
right.
right. Talk soon.
You said 10:10, right?
I'm going to count the last 48 hours as time served, so it would be 8-8 at the end.
See, I would have been okay with bringing it down to 7, but to okay, even with that, it still isn't gonna. We can't.
No.
God damn it! I wish I was not expecting that response, and that's the problem, right? I'm then asking. I have to run the thing through my mind, which is,
I mean, I think like my true belief that based on the directive and the guidance that we got and what was communicated to the justice, we would not be fulfilling our oaths properly if we agreed to this. If it was anything else, I feel like there would be more wiggle room, right?
Yeah.
But like, if someone, I'll just use you as an example. If someone took you down to Chumash Pier and executed you, and then I did all this work, and then I got into an interrogation with them and they asked me to go play survival, I would add time to them. I'm not suggesting we do that, but you get what I'm saying,
yeah.
right? Like it's more, that makes it a little bit more like palatable as opposed to Davis.
I mean, he's not
so
wrong.
Like I understand, like part of me feels empathy for a separate, you know, in my non-duty way, like my non-duty mindset.
I totally understand. And you're not wrong. Okay.
Let's blow up Brian Knight and Dakota.
Even with 7-7, it's unreasonable.
Yeah.
I think 10-10 might be overboard. Oh, God damn it. Why did that have to be the guidance? I wish they had something.
Yeah, they just left it to us.
For me, the difficulty becomes him wanting to get out for the 9th, but that's so hard for us to, how do you explain that to anybody?
I mean, he's going off of whatever Carmelo's plea deal is, which I have no idea what it is or what she's going to be in trouble
very different circumstances. We reduce his time for every X unit of gold bars. I'm only kidding. Chat, this is a very difficult decision to make because...
You're laughing. I almost put the fine in gold and not USD.
I am very
but like I don't know.
I am very
like, I can't
uncertain what to do here. Because like OOC, I feel bad, but like in character though, like the problem is that I'm willing to move to 7-7.
Okay.
But no consideration. I'm willing to go down to 7-7, but having consideration for Survivor after having done this is unreasonable.
Yeah, from what the directive we received was and the totality of the situation. I agree.
But 10-10 for Skipper because he did pull it. No, but he stabbed him too, didn't he?
Well, he also literally admitted to sending the email that lured him here.
Yeah. In consideration where times and fines have generally been.
Yeah.
And given the fact, because I said 10-10 initially, unless he's willing to work with us, and he is. And with that on recording, let's go with the 7-7, but no special considerations.
Okay. Do you want that 7-7 with the 48 hours they've been in here? So then it would only be 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Listen, you're the
Yeah.
you're the director.
Have any food or drink?
I do, yeah.
All right.
Let me just get the recorder back down. All right, we're just picking the recorder and back up.
We're going to continue the recording here where we left at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Given the fact that you have agreed to work with us in the future, and given the circumstances that surround this, more specifically with my belief that you were coerced under the guise of being made to believe that Sean Davis was a existential threat to the state. In other words, yes, the faceless are dangerous. Yes, they wish nothing but the worst for this society. And with all that having been said, it does not change the fact that you did execute Sean Davis. Given all those factors, I think it would have been still very reasonable to ask for a life sentence and the death penalty. But we have a final offer here, with the alternative being going to court, which I don't think is really going to be in your best interest, given that I think we're giving you a bit of a lifeline here. We're willing to do the following. Dakota?
That's crazy. Why don't you say he's
We will lower the sentence from 10 and 10 to 7 and 7 with your time still served. The fine will remain the same, but we were given certain directives from high above on how to carry out this entire ordeal.
I can be a little bit more on the nose with that.
Yeah,
We reached out to Washington.
I see.
And the response
And they don't give a
that-
fuck.
That is surprising.
And I want you to know that was one of my best friends. But I understand why, in some twisted way, that this wasn't fully your where we're going with this is you're lucky to have this deal. Sorry,
so
Dakota.
with my time served, I would when would that have me out?
What's today? Say Thursday or Friday?
You're not going to get out
Thursday.
before Survivor, and we cannot put special considerations for you on that.
I understand.
I think we personally feel like with the weight of the situation, it would be inappropriate for us to agree.
Forget
to that.
inappropriate. We went out there and we're thinking about throwing the whole deal out. It's a damn spit on the grave of this country.
All right, I got one slight other deal for you specifically, then, Brian. It can be off the books, nothing serious. I got a friend that's gonna starve with me in here. I need you to feed him.
I'm straight, Bjorn.
I'm talking about real food, Brian. I'm talking about your dumpster friend.
What you're asking here is not something that we can discuss. If there are
Let's see.
things you want to discuss, so it is. You're talking about Oscar the Grouch? Is he in prison?
Everyone seems to call him something differently, so I don't know. But I know he calls you, and I know he might starve without me giving him food.
I'll make sure he's fed.
All right.
I'm law enforcement at the end of the day. If someone's a hungry beggar, I'm going to give him what I got.
Okay. All right. So Nakota, when did you say my release date would be?
Your release date, if I'm doing the math correctly, will be Tuesday in roughly, how much time do you have right now?
I think anything over 7 years for a murder is
Around
a lot.
77 months.
Okay, so it would be Tuesday. I think that's the 10th,
and
at
like,
roughly an hour from now.
like, if one of us died, I would ask for 30 years. I don't know what the perfect number is, just transparently.
You agree to
A
that?
week seems in prison seems like really
I
the
think I'd be
extremities
crazy not
of what
to.
should be done
I still need I
at
will
this
edit
iteration of the server.
agreement
And given
I
that
sent
we
you
had to make
with
that
what we
decision, the
discussed.
guidance was someone, is
And then
killed. I
just
think
need you on
7's a
recording
good
to say
amount.
that,
Some
you agree to
people
the deal
are going to
that
want way more. Some are going to find a little less.
for you.
I tried to think about it under
I
all
Save
scenarios.
the recording now.
Yeah, please.
What makes
I
the
agreed
most
to the
sense?
deal I've been presented
And
for.
agree or
7
disagree, it's what
years
I'm
prison,
coming at.
7 years
10
parole.
feel like too much. 7 are like, 7 seems right. Because bombs and whatever, are what it is.
All
This is the,
and then
so
I just need you to. Wait, does he need a lawyer here, Brian, to sign it?
no.
Okay, I just need you to sign it then, and I will take care of the rest.
And because in
You're aware of the
RP,
financial
that's
fine
why
as
I'm
well,
glad
right?
they're saying like in RP, like, hey, we're gonna help you when you can, because then we can like
Correct.
justify it in RP. It's a tough one.
Yeah, so just sign it, and I will let the judge
I
know.
don't think it would have made any
immediately,
sense if we're like, yo,
and
we're gonna
be good. I
you know,
will,
given the
before we
parameters,
leave, I will adjust everything once everything
said like, hey, by the way,
signed by everybody.
you can go to Survivor too. Like that would, yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I think if it's a little bit too much or a little
Sorry,
bit
you
too
should be able to sign it now. My bad.
low. Yeah.
Okay, sign.
All right. I will adjust your time before we leave. We do have to speak to the other two. I don't know if there's anything else the two of you would like to say before I end the recording.
I don't think so.
Brian, anything else?
No.
All right, we will be ending the recording at 4:29 p.m. EST.